I love to read, but reading doesn't really agree with me. Whenever I get really into a book or a series, my favorite character or characters usually end up dead. I suppose it's partially my fault for being attracted to personalities that are apparently doomed to die, but still! Here are a few examples. As a disclaimer, this video contains so many spoilers that I'm not even going to bother counting them. Starting with the series of unfortunate events, specifically the Reptile Room. I know the name kind of gives away that happy things don't happen, but why does Uncle Monty have to die? Brom? I loved Brom. Everyone with a recognizable part. I feel I should note that I'm specifically referring to Hamlet, although a shocking amount of people die in these other three as well. Mr. Crepsley. At least he was only my second favorite character, although my first favorite, Vansha, did come really close to dying in one of the other books. Rue! Prim and Finnick? Really? Both of them? Why couldn't you kill Gale instead? And now moving on to Harry Potter. I think it's safe to assume that once book 5 hit in the Harry Potter series, I really wasn't meant to have a happy ending with any of these. But I just can't stop reading them, they're so good. Sirius Black? Why? Dumbledore. And finally, my favorite literary character of all time, Severus Snape! I need a minute. There are tear stains on the pages of this book where Snape died. Now on to the books that I don't actually own physical copies of, but I've read enough times that I don't really need to own a physical copy of them. Starting with Endless Night by Agatha Christie, the best Agatha Christie book ever written. Except for the part where Ellie dies. At least Greta went with her. Moving on to Lord of the Rings, specifically the Fellowship of the Ring, and even more specifically, Boromir. He's actually my fourth favorite character in the Fellowship of the Ring. I want his final words engraved on my tombstone. And lastly, my absolute favorite book of all time, Mortal Engines. The awesome book. It's also the book where Catherine Valentine is stabbed to death by her father. Catherine Valentine, my favorite character in my favorite book. I hate you, Thaddeus Valentine. On a happier note, I'm currently reading The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo series by, what's his name? Stake Larson? Nah. I figured it was only fair that I had to read the books in this trilogy because after seeing it in theaters, I realized that it is my favorite movie of all time. In this one specific instance, I'm happy that I saw the movie before I read the book. I feel it probably wouldn't be my favorite movie if I had experienced them the other way around. In conclusion, if Lisbeth Salander dies at the end of The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest, I will never read again. There's so much death on my bed right now. I mean, just look at it all. Just so sad.